All right, welcome to another fun edition of Football Focus Weekly. I'm the Petman, Matt Marr. We got a fun show tonight. As you can see what's on the docket right there. We're going to run the intro. We're going to be right back, and we're going to get it started with Petman's players. So be right back in about 2 minutes and 2 seconds.
Well, rule number one, for as long as I have been able to drive a car, I'm getting pretty old, has been never pass a Bojangles without stopping to get something to eat.
I'm slamming the adult league referee.
God, oh.
Well, dang, I mean, y'all just took my slime, because I was going to slime Coach Billers. Because let me tell y'all about this cat.
Well, I think I got to go with slamming who's ever running these stupid robo-dollars and group callers.
All right. We're gonna do something a little different here. We're gonna step off of Petman's players real quick because I want to introduce everybody that's here before we get into that. Let's see here. We got the engine.
What's up, Pep?
What's up, man? You doing all right?
Man, I'm living the dream. I hope you are.
Yes, sir. I got to get with some rock solid training.
There it is. If you want to take your game to another level, we can do it.
There it is. Friday night is back once again.
What's up, everybody? What's good? Charlotte, what it do? 704, what it do? From the 336, baby. What it do?
The reason why all the ladies tuned in right there, baby.
Oh, my God. Here we go. I'm trying to be humble, man. Let me be humble, Engine. Let me be humble.
No, we don't need that, man. We got to get you hooked up. Also here, Coach Dub.
What's going on?
What's up, man?
So, Dub, what it do, baby?
Man, not much. Ready to
How
go.
you like them Seminoles Sunday night, baby?
Man, they put on a show. They made a statement.
Engine, I'm just let you know, tell Drake, mate, we coming.
Oh, boy.
We ain't hard to find.
We'll talk about that later.
All right.
And I'm excited to introduce a special guest host who will be here all night long, the face that you might have forgot about because he stepped away from coaching, but we ain't forget about him. Matt Jenkins.
Ah, dog, there he is.
What's up, man?
Gentlemen, what's going on?
TV extraordinaire.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Hey, we talk about the Oracle. That's the Oracle right there.
They had to. How far down the slum did they have to go to pick me out to do something? Yeah, good Lord. I'm just excited to be back with the engine.
There it is.
Yeah.
Not sure where that came from. I'm gonna have to hear the story behind that. I don't even know where that came from.
Me either.
Well, everybody has a name on the show, so we got to get you a name. We'll work on that.
Yeah, no, I'm good with Matt. It works.
All right, so we got a couple comments here. Jason Baz is here as usual. Jada Connect is here. And a lot more people are jumping on. So, Mr.
What's up,
Jinx,
B-boys?
I think you are increasing the ratings here. So we might have to keep you around.
Who?
You must be talking about Coach Washington.
Hey, Matt, you remember the last time we got up together? I gotta send you the picture.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Oh boy! All right, well, we'll find out about that later on. But Summer, hey, Summer, how you doing? Good to see you.
Hey, what's going on, Summer? How you doing?
Hey, Summer, our deepest apology from everyone on the crew.
No,
More
don't say
on that later,
everybody.
right, Pep?
Don't say everybody.
Oh gosh! All right, so guys, we'll hang tight. We'll be right back. We're gonna knock out Petman's players, and I'm happy to say that we are sponsored now. Petman's Players has a sponsor, and it is Rock Solid Training. Imagine that. Stepped up to sponsor the segment. If you need training needs, if you're looking for a little bit of training to get better at your craft outside of what you're doing at your school, make sure you reach out to Kenneth McClamrock, and he'll get you straight, and he'll get you on that path to becoming a better player and doing some great things on the football field, man. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into Petman's players. We got a lot of good performances last week. We were at Harding and Garinger, and Tavius Carpenter for Harding. He was the best player on the field. 5 rushing touchdowns and 2 interceptions at the safety spot in their big win over Garinger. Interviewed him after the game. Really expressive kid, great personality. If you haven't seen that, make sure you go check that out. Also for Harding, he played a freshman quarterback, a left-handed player, Jaquavion Gaffney. He had 2 rushing touchdowns in the win. I thought he operated the kind of spread option offense Harding is running this year well. And I think he's got a bright future. He's about 6'1", 175, good size. And as he grows and develops his passing game, I think he's going to be a really good player, man. And then Garinger had a standout. Kingston Johnson, wide receiver. He wears number 4. He's a sophomore. He caught 2 touchdown passes in the first half from his quarterback, Jeremiah Stallings, and that was a 19-12 game going into halftime. I thought Garinger, played their best football that they've showed in a while in that first half, but then second half things kind of got away from them. So good job to those guys. Now, in a lot of other games around, Christian Holland, star running back for Forest View, big game, 29 carries, 213 yards, and a touchdown in their victory over Freedom. I've liked Christian for a couple years. He runs hard. He has good vision, good speed. He's a good player. We talk about Southview a lot because of the running back, but Dontario Austin at linebacker had a great game. Hit 12 tackles, 3 tackles for loss in their victory. They remain undefeated on the season. Of course, Butler had their big win down in Georgia over Langston Hughes on Saturday night, nationally ranked program. There was a lot of different options to highlight, but Caleb Skoll, big offensive lineman, he tagged me in a big flying block he had on a screen pass. It was incredible, man. And, obviously a key play in their victory. And, he's also a former CFI camp attendee, having a really good season, doing a great job for those Bulldogs. Providence Day had a big win over Charlotte Catholic on national TV, ESPNU, and they had some standout guys. Ian Klein, new to the program this year, 101 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Also, 14 tackles on defense, and he's a running back by trade, so he's picked up that defensive side of football pretty quickly for Chad Greer, doing a good job. Now, when you think about defense with Providence Day, it starts with Lucas Santquire. 17 tackles, 4 tackles for loss. Incredible performance. Week after week, he does a great job in leading that unit to doing big things on the field. A big game last week, Palisades and Indy. We're going to talk about it a little bit later on. But Fediane Turner, running back and slot receiver for Palisades, had a big game, 2 rushing touchdowns and a kick return touchdown in that game. He's really fast, great speed, about 5'11", 170. He's a junior, really good player, starting to come to his own over there. All right, Anthony Hawkins for Hickory Grove. He seems like he's on here every week, right? 10 carries, 226 rushing yards, and 3 touchdowns. That is a 22.6 per carry average. That's incredible. I don't care what level of football you're talking about. And Hickory Grove remains undefeated on the season. Another great rushing performance, Gabe Bolivar. It's his second week on here from Pine Lake. 17 rushes, 215 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 3 two-point conversions in that victory. Great job to Gabe and Pine Lake. They got a big one going up against Lake Norman Charter Friday night. Chancellor Bryant, a kid that I've talked to before. I'm kind of highlighting him as a Petman player in our kind of interview series. 10 tackles, 5 receptions for 150 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a 93-yard pick six. Man, what a game. But unfortunately, they lost to Marvin Ridge in a really good one, 38-35, but a heck of a performance by a really talented senior 2024 player. Jason Melton II at Kings Mountain, middle linebacker, 15 tackles, tackle for loss, and a fumble recovery in their victory over Burns. Really good Kings Mountain program continuing to do well this season. Christopher Vargas Sosa from Eastern Guilford, big defensive lineman. He picked up a fumble and ran it in for 40 yards out for a touchdown in their victory. Eastern Guilford also undefeated this season. It's always great when a big lineman scores a touchdown. I never got the chance. So live it up, Christopher. Great job, man. A name that we said a lot last year. He's at Providence now, Alex Koulovatos. 10 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, an interception, a forced fumble, and 2 touchdown catches. What a night, man. You guys are doing a lot out here. In their victory over Hunter Huss on the road, really talented young man, doing it now on a bigger stage at Providence. Congratulations. Great job, man. Jace Rowe from East Gaston, really athletic defensive back. He tags me every week in his highlights and performances. He had 3 pass breakups, an interception, and 3 tackles as East Gaston is now at 3-0. First time they've been 3-0 in a long time. And they've got a big one coming up against Ashbrook we're going to talk about a little later. Harrison Johnson with Porter Ridge, star linebacker we've talked about a couple times. 12 tackles, 3 tackles for loss in their victory against Hickory Ridge, a game that I admittedly picked wrong in the Greater Metro 4 picks. Porter Ridge remaining undefeated. Passed a bit of a test, a little bit of step up in competition. Great job for the Pirates. Another Providence Day young man, Brody Barnhart, safety committed to NC State. 13 tackles, a tackle for loss, and an interception in the victory over Charlotte Catholic. I loved hearing Coach Greer talk about Brody and how he developed himself into a Power 5 player. Really athletic, great speed. He can do things with the ball in his hands as well on the offensive side of football. Congratulations, Brody. Our last group of Petman players, sponsored by Rock Solid Training. Declan Sullins for Parkwood, 14 tackles, 7 solo tackles in their victory over East Meck. Another game I picked wrong. But congratulations to Parkwood and Coach Mobley for getting his first career win. That's awesome. Tristan Chadwick with the Cabarrus Stallions. We talked about them a little bit last week. They're a homeschool program out of Cabarrus County. 7 catches for 179 yards and 2 touchdowns in their victory. Good-sized young man. I believe he's in the 2025 class, doing some great things on the football field. Another one that always does great things on the football field, it seems now. Natavius Husky, quarterback at Crest, 18 of 23 for 411 yards and 6 touchdowns, plus a rushing touchdown in the victory over Shelby. Big rivalry win. Crest remaining undefeated on the season, and are on the top of a lot of 3A polls in the state. Another reason why, Javarius Green committed to North Carolina, star receiver, 4 catches for 159 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 75-yard kickoff return in that win. Chambers, we talk about their skill guys, it seems like all the time, and it seems like this is the next one coming up. Jeremiah Harrison at receiver, 5 catches for 110 yards and a touchdown in the victory over Glenn. Good job for that young man right there. Another name we kind of starting to repeat, LJ Porter at Charlotte Christian, playing linebacker. 15 tackles, 2 forced fumbles in their victory over South Point. Great job to LJ. Rondell Carter, I really like this kid's game, man. He's going to Coastal. I think he's gonna be big time, man. Really athletic DB, can play safety and corner. 3 sacks, a tackle for loss, and a forced fumble in that victory over Glenn. Great job for Rondell. Jaden Ferguson from Millbrook, we talked about him before. Linebacker, 16 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, a sack, and a rushing touchdown in their victory. And then finally, Jeremy Black, speedster from West Met, committed to UNC Pembroke. 197 all-purpose yards, 3 touchdowns in their win on over Ashbrook, putting them to 2-1 on the season. They've won 2 games since that opening season loss to Ashbrook. Great job to all you young men. Excellent stuff right there. All right, we're going to bring everybody back because it's now time for everybody's favorite new segment, Hunt or Huddle Up, led by your favorite host, that guy right there.
All right, guys, you know what time it is. I give you a statement, and you tell me, are you believing it, which means you're going to go for it, or are you not buying into what your assistant coach is telling you on the headset? You're going to punt for it. You're going to punt it. So the first one is yesterday, Sam Howell was named team captain by the Washington Commanders. Of course, we know Sam Howell from his Sun Valley days. We know Sam Howell from all of his accomplishments, and there are many at the University of North Carolina. And now in his second year, he's the full-blown starter from for the Commanders. Sam Howell is the greatest quarterback from North Carolina of all time. There's never been a better quarterback from North Carolina. Coach Dub, you've coached a lot of good quarterbacks. What say you?
I'm gonna go to Huddle on that. I think the kid is on the right path. He played at Sun Valley, put up big numbers, was as good as advertised at the University of North Carolina. I think one year he was projected to go in the lottery as a lottery pick, and for whatever reason he dipped in the draft. And I felt like the Panthers should have went after him. I know they ended up going in a different direction, but I think that was a huge mistake by the Panthers. I said it then, I'll say it now. Me and Joe Hughes actually had a spirited debate about this because it's hard to admit when you drop the ball like that. And I think the Panthers end up drafting the Corral kid out of Ole Miss that was actually injured going into the draft and passed up on a hometown kid that definitely he has it. Whatever it is, Sam Howell has it, and he's working his way to where he needs to be at. Because you got to think where he got drafted at, no one really was looking for him. And when he came in his rookie year in the preseason and lit the Panthers up, I knew at that moment he had transition.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see Matt Corral playing quarterback for the Panthers this weekend. Friday night, Fowler, Sam Howell, man, the GOAT of North Carolina quarterbacks?
No, not the GOAT of North Carolina high school quarterbacks. With that being said, however, I'm going to huddle up on this one. He's been a winner at every level he's ever played. So, and I've met him personally. So, great personality, great leader. I'm going to huddle up on this one. I think the Commanders got a steal on this one.
Coach Jenkins, I think you may have coached against Sam Howell when he was a freshman, when you were at Concord.
Yeah, he lost.
The GOAT of North Carolina high school quarterbacks?
He lost.
There you go, Matt.
Hey, it wasn't me. So, guys, you know what? You guys know more than I do. I've been here since 2009. So, I mean, he probably is the best high school quarterback that I've seen since 2009, right? And he's playing in the NFL, so he's got to be pretty good. It's I don't know if he's the captain. I guess every quarterback in the NFL is the captain, aren't they? Isn't that how it works? If you're the quarterback, you're the captain automatically. Yeah. I mean, what am I supposed to huddle if I think he's the best? Is that how this works? So, yeah. I mean, I can't argue at least since 2009 that I've seen. But I wasn't here when Chris Leak was playing and those guys. So, I think there's maybe some arguments that those guys may have been better high school guys than Sam Howell might have been.
Petman, what say you?
Guys, I got a punt. I got a punt, man. Now, yes, he's in the NFL. Yes, he's a starting quarterback. But like some of the other comments are saying, Chris Leak won a national title, man, at Florida. And I'm gonna use this to say Swamp Kings could have did a better job of highlighting what he did for that program. But obviously we know Sam didn't do that at North Carolina. Heck, Drake, the way North Carolina looked, I know we're gonna talk about that in a minute, but he might lead him to higher levels than Sam did. So I'm gonna punt.
I'm a punt too. I coached against Chris Leak for 3 of his 4 years. I saw Sam Howell play in high school. Chris Leak was on a different level, the national championship. So I'm punting on that one. Next statement. So this weekend, the ACC completely dominated the SEC. UNC toppled South Carolina. Friday Night Fowler, I know he was all geeked up. FSU drilled Louisiana State. The ACC has finally arrived in football. The ACC is finally a football conference. Petman, Matt Morrow, what do you think?
Are they a football conference? Well, I'm going to punt that because still, it's only week 1. It's only week 1. It was a great week for the ACC. Yes, I agree. But no, 1 week does not make a football conference. I still say the depth of the SEC is deeper than the ACC, for sure.
And Coach Jenkins, I know where your loyalty lies as far as college football, but what do you think, man? The ACC?
Pac-12 went undefeated this week. Pac-12 went undefeated. Are they a football conference now? Heck, are they even a conference anymore? So, no. No, they're not a football conference. They're never going to be a football conference. They're going to have a couple teams that are going to be pretty good every year, and they will always be behind the SEC. They will always be behind the Big Ten, period. Punt. Anytime. Like, I'll punt on first down on that.
Friday night? What you think, man?
I'm a punt as well, man. But if you had to ask if my Florida State Seminoles are right there with the SEC, I would have went for it. But ACC as a conference, no, because really just been Florida State and Clemson. And I don't know about Clemson after what happened the other night, but my Seminoles definitely. But ACC as a conference, no, punting.
Coach Dub, what you think?
I'm gonna have to punt too. At the current moment, we're not there as an ACC. Duke had a good win, but look at Clemson. Clemson looks terrible. I don't think people are talking about that enough. And, they have been the creme de la creme of ACC and the standard of ACC and the one alpha dogs that could battle the SEC, and they're down. They look bad. But Florida State looks great, but we're not there right now. It's still a basketball conference as of right now. You can't take that away. A lot of draft picks have come out of the ACC. So as of right now, definitely a basketball conference, and I'm punting on it.
Yeah, I'm a punt too. I wish Clemson would have played better, of course, versus Duke. That might have made the ACC argument a little bit better, but I'm punting on that one. Last statement. So Butler went down to Georgia this weekend, and they took care of business. A top 15 by most accounts. Team in the nation that they dismantled. This was the most impressive win for any Charlotte team in Charlotte's history. Matt Jenkins, what you think?
Who is Independence beaten? Who'd they beat? Again, I'm going to the historians here because
I think early on, your early Tommy Knots, there were some huge games with Richmond Senior and
outside of the
Memorial Stadium. But there were no, and this, there were no. This is a new phenomenon. Charlotte teams going out of state, right? Like you guys started it with Dutch Fork and some of those other games, but this is relatively 3 or 4 years old that we're seeing that.
It might be. I'm trying to think if Mallard Creek beat anybody out of state that was really good early on. They had a couple come down, a couple of Jersey teams come down that they beat, I think. Was it Bosco or somebody that came down and beat. So, gosh darn, it might be. Unless somebody give me a better one, I guess I'll huddle with that.
Yeah, I was trying to think. I mean, what Independence got beat by a team from Ohio, right? In that Ohio Classic, whatever they call it. Coach Dub, you've been around Charlotte football for a long time. What do you think?
I'm gonna have to huddle on this because if you look at some of the Mallard Creek teams or the Independence teams, it's been good rivalries within the state. Like you talking about Independence versus Richmond, that's in state. But to go and beat a Georgia team, because and Jenkins will tell you this, all the college coaches come through North Carolina, they're saying, hey, we're going to Georgia, all the talent's down there. So to beat that team the way they beat them. And also think about this, when the Mallard Creek teams did beat some of those Don Boscos, or I think that's who they played, they was nationally ranked themselves. They was a nationally ranked team. So Butler wasn't nationally ranked coming in here. Butler came out of nowhere, but like somebody said, no one's shocked because you got to take your hats off to coach, the head coach over there. I mean, he's built a great staff, and he's been slowly but surely building, and he's been a consistent. So I'm not really shocked by it, but because how they beat him, it was definitely a shock to everybody else, but not to me.
All right, Coach Hales, great job. Friday night, what you think, man? You know a whole lot about North Carolina football.
I guess in my memory, I'm gonna say yes, the biggest win for a Charlotte school in the history of Charlotte high school football. Considering the Independence, 109-game win streak got snapped against a team from out of state. So I would say that is the biggest victory for a Charlotte school. Also, don't forget Mallard Creek beat a great Dillon team from South Carolina during their run. So I don't know where y'all would rank that, but I'm gonna say I'm a hut up on that one. I'm gonna say Butler. That's the biggest win in Charlotte history.
Yeah, and I want to add this too. I'd say, like, literally before that, I seen it was like some kind of commercial about the quarterback being a sleeper from that particular team, Langston Hughes. So they was as good as advertised, man. I think they was calling the quarterback the next Michael Vick, and it was a debate.
Facts.
And I apologize. Shout out to Coach Hales. That's what I meant to say, Coach Hales. Shout out to him.
So there's a little bit of anecdotal information right there.
Okay, McDonald. Okay. Yeah, Creek had several big victories.
But they was ranked, right? They had all the talent in the area, and they was ranked when they beat those teams. Butler don't got all the talent in this area.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I feel you. I got you.
Who on Butler teams ranked right now? Who's a 5-star?
And the quarterback? Zach Lawrence, ain't he up there?
3-star.
3-star? Okay.
They're talented, but that whole team they beat was full of 5 stars and 4 stars.
Okay. I see where you're coming from. I got you.
Petman, what do you think, man? No one knows more about Charlotte football than you do.
I wouldn't say all that now. Excuse me. The thing about it is, when you think about history, and you go back in time, Charlotte schools didn't go anywhere. I mean, we didn't play anyone, outside of the state. I mean, hardly. It was hard enough to try to play South Carolina teams most of the time because of the scheduling issues. They were on 1 year. The years were off, basically on a 2-year contract.
Yeah, they're off.
Yeah, so yeah, that is crazy. But I got to huddle up, man, just because there's not a lot of things to compare it to. I was really thinking hard about this when you sent it out, Kenneth, and yeah, I mean, think on a national scale, yeah, because the opportunities have been limited. But like everyone else did, it's a great job, that Butler was able to pull that off, and it really helps elevate, North Carolina high school football as a whole, not only the Charlotte area, but everybody.
Yeah, Producer Brent, I know you came on late, but the statement is Butler's win down at Langston Hughes, Georgia, top 15 nationally ranked team, is the greatest win, the most impressive win in Charlotte football history. Producer, what you think?
I'm going to huddle up. I mean, it's as far as what I'm aware of and the games that I know about, yes, it is for sure. Because, they're not just an out-of-state powerhouse, literally nationally ranked. Like Coach Washington said, full of 4s and 5s, all kinds of attention. And I think the general consensus, the folks down there and even here, probably just said, hey, Butler's going to go down there. Langston's going to win. And, basically that Butler was shopping for a moral victory. That's what a lot of people thought. So I'm going to say yes, as far as what I know of, especially since playing out-of-state powerhouses, at least from the time going back to when I was in school up until now, I didn't really hear about out-of-state games as much. Yes, it happened. Like Fowler said, Independence streak ended with an out-of-state team, but it's become much more prevalent. I mean, you literally have teams now playing multiple out-of-state opponents in one season. That was unheard of before. It was a big deal to get one. So as far as the games I'm aware of, yes, it definitely is the biggest in North Carolina history as far as what I know about.
Yeah, I'm huddling up as well. I mean, for all those reasons we just talked about, Charlotte schools weren't allowed to go outside of their county just as recently as 15 years ago. When I was at North Mech, we had to schedule schools inside the county. That came from the county AD. Here recently, we've seen Charlotte schools starting to go out of state, which we've celebrated on this show. But Butler, not even a top 1 or 2 teams on our show last week, goes down to Langston Hughes and takes care of business on a Saturday. Huge win for those guys. So I'm going with that's the most impressive win in Charlotte football history.
Big guy Shelby, you want to weigh in on that?
What y'all talking about? That team down the street?
Here we go. All right, you don't have to weigh in on it.
Ironically, I think that Tommy Knott's first victory at Independence was against a school from Tennessee. I was at that
Austin
game in
East.
2002.
I don't know the history enough to know to say if it's like I'm not as old as you guys, so I wouldn't know if it's the most impressive. But it was a very impressive win. Just being able to go down there, North Carolina versus Georgia, that was a nationally ranked team. So hats off to them beating the nationally ranked team. I really think is what I always tell my friends that's out of state. Georgia football looks down on North Carolina until they get smacked in the mouth. And I think that's just kind of what happened. They probably went in like, okay, we nationally ranked. We got this team from North Carolina. Are they not ranked? Oh, okay. Do they got kids that's 4 or 5 stars, XYZ? Okay, they ain't got as many as we got. Okay, so they probably just looked down on them. And by the time they woke up, it was too late, and that team down there was able to hold on and win the game. So, shout out to them for being able to just go down there and compete.
I think that's a great point. On paper, the people, that whole staff, the team, the kids probably looked at it and said, okay, we who we are. They're in North Carolina. They're not ranked. We're just going to roll over them, just a formality. And as we all know, football is not played on paper. And like you've got a reminder of that.
And also look at who was the best player on the field. I felt like number 4, the Currents kid, when they needed to make a play, he made the play when he needed to. And it was nothing they could do about it.
Yeah, the Quadri Currents, he was the leading receiver for that team last year. Junior year, really stepping up even more. Great job to Butler going out there representing for North Carolina. Great comments. We're going to have a best of the comments segment. We'll revisit a lot of those, so keep them coming. Really, really good insight in the comments. But now it's time for Friday night to shine. Oh, I got to get it on the screen. My bad. Sorry, Friday night. I set you up and I wasn't ready.
Oh, man, you good, baby?
All right. Got your rankings, man. Let's go.
Well, Grimsley handled their business up here in my hometown against Reagan. Weddington did their thing. East Forsyth jumped out quick on AC Reynolds. AC Reynolds fought back, but East Forsyth got the dub in the end. Butler had to move Butler up, just what we talked about. The biggest win in Charlotte history for a high school. Had to put them in my top 5, had to show love. Cleveland does what they do in their county, 46 nothing. Mallard Creek had a bye. Huff went down. Huff did. I didn't think they were going to win, but they went down there and handle business in South Carolina against Dutch Fort. Chambers, like I said, almost identical to what I said they was going to do against Glenn. Cardinal Givens and Roseville round up my top 10 and 4A.
East Forsyth's undefeated, right?
Yes.
Yeah. They played AC Reynolds?
Yeah, they played them last week.
Yeah. That was a close game, and I was a little surprised by that. I probably would have.
They jumped out 21-0. They jumped out 21-0, and then AC Reynolds fought back. But East Forsyth ended up getting a dub at the end, so 27-21.
Got you. Anybody else got some thoughts on 4A?
No comments?
You must have impressed everybody, man.
Okay. That's what's up. That's what's happening.
3A. Let's take a look.
Well, shoot, pretty much everybody handled business in 3A, with the exception of Southern Durham losing to Williams up here. So I replaced Southern Durham with Eastern Guilford. But like I said, everybody else up here did what they were supposed to do last week. I think Havelock had a bye in 71st. But pretty much everybody on here handled business. So this really wasn't much to do about top 10 in 3A this week.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good overall. We'll talk about West Charlotte, but they found a way to get a win, man. They found a way to get a win and stay undefeated on the season. Anybody else got some thoughts on 3A?
I may move Dudley on one spot.
Okay.
I mean, just for them, just for some clips I seen, seem like they got a complete team right now. They can get it done on both sides of the ball. I think Kings Mountain is still trying to figure out offensively what they're going to do.
Okay, I can see
Good
that.
point. Good point.
Of course, Coach Marsh would say he would move West Charlotte up. He said he would be watching, so good to see you, Coach. Congratulations, man. Let's see here. Joe Hughes. What's up, Joe? Kings Mountain still hadn't reached 300 yards offensively. Okay. That backs up what you said there, Big Eye Shelby.
Okay.
Comment on Southern Durham and Vance County. Okay.
Southern Durham kind of disappointed me right now. I expected more from them, but still plenty of season left. So we'll see what's up.
All right. Well, we'll keep our eyes out on Southern Durham there. All right. Let's go to 2A.
I mean, this just another situation. Everybody, this didn't change from last week. Well, with the exception of Burns going down with that close loss to Kings Mountain, but everything else is pretty much the same. Everybody, Reedsville kind of they're standing number one right now, even though they kind of don't know what's going on with them. I know they got some injuries or whatnot, but pretty much everything else, everybody pretty much handled their business.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Reedsville. It's one of our games to talk about this week. They got Eastern Alamance, both undefeated teams. So you guys still support Burns at 10, even though they've lost two tough ones?
I mean, I would say, even to speak on Shelby and Burns, you got to understand, Shelby's played two top 3A teams. Three of the top 10 3A teams, and about to play a 4A team in Olympic. Burns has played Forest View, Kingstown, and Crest. We have yet to see those teams play a 2A team. The only teams on this list that have played 3A or 4A competition is Monroe, Burns, and possibly in Reedsville. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, if all these teams were just playing 2A teams, how can you judge a team that ain't played 2A yet? Because I wouldn't bet you those two teams are better than 90% of this list.
Yeah, I think because Burns could easily be number 7.
Yeah, because think about it.
They're better than Chase, Bunker Hill, Northeastern. So I didn't mean to cut you off, Big Shelby. But
you're right. Off top, I can guarantee you Shelby's better than Chase for sure, Bunker Hill for sure, Northeastern for sure. Probably a toss-up with them being better than Monroe or Forest Hills right now. Clinton's on the other side. You know, you ain't got to worry about them. Salisbury, not really sure how Salisbury looks. I haven't really seen them. I know what Reesville looks like. So just think about it. So number 1, number 3, number 5, number 6, 8, 9, and 10 all on the same side. So somebody got to see somebody eventually.
Just to back up your Salisbury plays a 4A team this Friday, so we go see what they got.
Who they play this Friday?
Huh?
Who they play this Friday?
Person County.
Do you think they better than Olympic?
Person County?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I know because Olympic. Then I know I will give Reesville credit. Reesville always kind of play Page. I would give them credit 2A playing 4A. I'm always gonna give you credit no matter if you play the number 1 4A school in the state or the worst 4A school. 2A versus 4A. It's always a difference size wise up front. But like some of these teams, it's kind of like saying if the top team in 4A has only played 2A or 3A schools, how can we say they're the best team in 4A? So I think it is with the list because only a couple teams are playing out of division right now.
And that's why I kept them in there, Big Eye Chef. That's why I kept Burns at 10, baby.
And Jamal, every 4A team ain't created equal. Corby is playing Garinger.
Coach, I feel you. That's why I kept Burns in there.
But,
I feel you.
Friday night, I like it. I will 100%.
I'm agreeing with everything. So I mean, yeah.
But I will 100% bet my last bottom dollar that Shelby, 0-3 Shelby, will still beat 5 or 6 teams on this list.
Hey, you know how I am, baby. I got mad respect for the Golden Lions, baby, for Big Shelby.
Yeah, because
matter of fact, see my predictions.
I was in 2A a lot, man. I can tell you some of these teams, man. I'm tell you right now, they always start out like this.
Hey, I can dig it, baby.
So Wolkler has a question for you Friday night. It says, are the rankings based off teams staying undefeated or how they actually look and play?
Wins and losses, baby. Wins and losses.
Yeah, so look, guys, this is his now. If you check his records out on Facebook, he got a pretty awesome record on Facebook with his picks and scores. These are just how he personally feel about wins and losses, not about who they play next or what they're gonna look like in 8 weeks. All right, right now, that's what he's going off of.
Week to week basis, big dog.
Yeah. Hey, look, Friday night. Some people, they don't understand your they don't understand your ranking, your module.
I understand, and I break it down to him.
Yeah, and also Chase has never beat Shelby ever. So I'll tell you that.
In history of ever.
In history. I mean, ever, Jamal. I mean, you can't find a time I think they tied once, never beat them.
I understand. And if they play each other this year, you know who I'm picking.
Thank you, Joe.
It's fluid, baby. It's fluid.
What's up, Joe? How you doing, baby?
Fluid. All right, 1A. Is Mountain Island still in?
It's about where they at, man. If they move it up. They won Friday. Lord Jesus.
Everybody else won too.
Did we get moved down?
Yeah,
no, man. Everybody else won too.
Nah. Y'all went up one spot. Y'all was 10 last week, I think.
No, they was 9 last week too.
Come on now, man. How much y'all win by Friday night, cuz?
We had a bye.
Bye week. Well, hey. Well, look, you win, bye week, you stay in. So you win bye weeks.
Everybody won except the 10th team, which lost, was why I put Eastern Randolph right there. Everything else is good. Now
I'm gonna tell you on this. Go ahead and go through your list, Jamal.
It's pretty much. I mean, everybody won. Like I said, everybody did what they supposed to do. Y'all had a bye. The only team that lost was Mountain Heritage. They lost to Robbinsville. Eastern Randolph was pretty good. They played nothing but 3A competition. So that's why I put them in the top 10. So
as a team, look at Starmount on this list. I think Starmount is a sleeper. Of course, Coach Lloyd from the old Kings Mountain coach, he's there. And 1A, when it comes into playoffs, I mean, the style of ball he plays is going to bode well for him. You just got to stay healthy. Starmount and also Swain County, their defense, they probably got one of the best defenses that they ever had. And that's scary because they've had a successful program. So I like the list. It looks good.
Right. And plus, Starmount has got 4 transfers from Reagan.
Okay. All right. Any other 1A thoughts?
I saw some good-looking Raptors earlier this week, Jamal. So just know Them boys are coming, man. Some good-looking youngins up there.
That's what's up, baby.
Is it still
I
a
can't wait to see
two-team
him.
race?
Hey, don't drown on
I get to see him in person.
Yeah,
I was
but whenever
looking
you
up at
go,
all
you
of
paying to
them.
get
My
in, baby.
God, dog, you a long sucker, man. How tall are you? Every one of them could run like deer.
Yeah,
Freaking
when you come to
gazelles,
the island,
man.
Jamal, you paying double.
So what?
When you come to the island, you paying double.
Wow.
Oh boy, I tell you.
Friday night. Welcome to Charlotte football, baby.
Hey, I love it, baby. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, baby.
Hey, put that post up from Stephanie Reynolds, Pep, if you see it.
Okay. Okay.
That's always gonna come up.
That was some controversy. You thought North Mech and Olympic was bad. That was like, dang, did we have to put up?
Do I need to keep repeating myself, man? I made a mental mistake, man. y'all ain't gonna let me live that down, are you?
No.
It'll get less and less as we go forward. You know,
boy. Okay.
Kind of like,
I'll take the heat off you, man. It's my time now.
It's kind of like a ding on a credit report. The further we get out, the less it'll hurt you. But it's always gonna be there.
So there's this week's 30 Dozen, sponsored by the Queen City Senior Bowl. You will see some Queen City Senior Bowl stuff coming very soon. Registration will open up for players to apply for their position in the Queen City Senior Bowl. It should be open for about a month or two, maybe 6 weeks. We'll have some other announcements to go along with that, so just stay tuned. That'll be coming really soon. But Providence today with the big win over Catholic stays at 1. Creek at 2, Butler 3, Weddington 4, Crest 5, and then on down the line. Any thoughts on the Dirty Dozen this week?
I'll probably have Weddington at 2, Crest at 3, and Butler at 4, and Mallard Creek at 5.
You really don't like Mallard Creek, man.
Wins and losses, Pep. Wins and losses.
Yeah, they lost one game to the number 5 team in the nation by 3.
And Butler went down to Georgia and beat the number 9 team in the nation in their territory by 3.
Yes, they did. That's why they're right beside each other.
Okay. All right. Weddington is undefeated.
Let me think about that.
But who is Weddington
wins and better losses? I'm sorry.
I know you're talking about wins and losses, but who is Weddington played?
That's a good point.
Well, they played Friday.
The Butler lose
That'll solve all that Friday.
Huh?
It'll be solved Friday. Butler and Weddington
play
Friday.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it here in a minute.
Right.
Sure are. That's going to be a heck of a game, too.
Butler lost to Roseville, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a ding. That's hurting them. You know, that'd be obviously they'd easily be number 2 if they had won that one. But so I get it. I mean that loss is bringing them down.
Okay. It's all good, Pep, baby.
Hey, Pep. Hey, fellas, just think about this. You look at Providence Day at number 1. This is probably the best Providence Day team ever. And we cannot see a Providence Day versus a Mallard Creek, a Butler, a Huff. You know, I'm still harping on that, but man, this is generational style football where we can see those matchups, man, because even though we are going to the South Carolinas, the Georgias, man, so you got some great matchups right here in the 704 that could go down. It could be some of the best games in the nation.
Well, I mean, they did play Catholic, and I mean, in
Pep,
their
stop
defense,
it.
that was a really good game last year.
Stop it, Pep. I told you it was going to be a blowout, and they put it on ESPN, and I told you. Which was good strategy from Chad. He wanted to get out there nationally and play Catholic, but that wasn't a matchup. I know they was hyping up the tight end. I said, oh, God. That's like preheating the oven and whatever. But Providence Day versus Mallard Creek, Providence Day versus Butler. Come on, fellas, let's make this happen.
But let me ask you a question: Is there a reason why that's not happening?
I think it has to be a sponsored event for them type of teams.
Yeah, CMS won't allow it.
Yeah, they won't allow. So like if Providence Day want to play a team like Mallard Creek, it'd have to be like a kickoff classic type. That's like
Myers Park just played Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the kicker in a sponsored game.
Yeah.
Well, let's do it next year. Providence Day, Mallard Creek.
CFI.
Sponsor.
CFI Classic.
CFI Classic. Let's go.
I mean, hey, we're more than happy to try to facilitate something. But I know, Jabril and Turf Kings do a great job also. So, I mean, there's a couple different ways that these matchups can happen. But once again, the key word is sponsored event. That's the key word.
You got to pay those teams.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha.
Well, they got enough money over there where they can put together something. I'm being like Pep. I do scheduling. I know how this stuff works behind the scenes. Coach Jenkins know if we want to make something happen, it can happen.
Well,
my phone was always open. Nobody
always.
Called.
Well, I'll give you credit, Coach. You guys definitely did not run from anybody.
Also, I was going to say, man, a lot of these games, coaches are strategic when they play certain people at certain times in certain places. So I always will say that. But
Big Shelby, they got arguably one of the best teams ever in this area.
Yeah,
I'm keeping it real. I'm saying what everybody's probably thinking. They got one of the best teams in this area. Is no reason. Because they're gonna run through their schedule.
They scrimmage where Charlotte. That's about it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll work on future scheduling.
They ain't gonna want it
and see what we can do. But I posted these last night on Instagram a little early, trying to change things up. CMS best of last. There was a lot of comments and controversy.
Mallard Creek.
What is it with you at Mallard Creek, man?
He had a girl from Mallard Creek that did it wrong, Pat.
There you go, Kenny. There you go, Kenny. Look at him.
We'll talk about it after the show, man.
Y'all focused on the wrong part of the list. I'm going over there on that right side, and I see Harden has moved up a spot. That's where I'm going. They moved up to 18, man. I like it.
That sounds like some home cooking. That sounds like some home cooking.
Wins and losses.
You can't prove it, man. You cannot prove it, Coach Washington.
Oh,
I would have Butler at 1, man, but that's just me, man.
Okay.
Oh,
Man, these comments, boy, y'all on fire today. Can't wait for best of the comments, man. My goodness. Any other thoughts on the best of last? I had plenty on Instagram. One day I will publish those comments. I keep saying I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it one day. Yeah, chatting. Yeah, that's yeah. So y'all got to keep this in mind, man. Some of these polls out here, and I'm just gonna say it. Some of them are political. Some of them are political, and it don't make any sense.
Look, we talked about early in the season. We talked about unaccredited polls out there. We talked about unaccredited lists.
That's fair, man.
You're not listening to me.
Hey, we fair. Hey, it's fair, man. Just keep us where we at, man.
It's all good, baby.
I won't get on my soapbox. I'll save it for later. All right. Let's jump to the county rankings real quick. Cabarrus County. Engine, you got any thoughts on that?
Nah, I mean, J.M. Robinson keeps rolling. Northwest had a battle last week. They're 2-0. Northwest is beating A.L. Brown. Concord's 2-1. Mount Pleasant's 2-1. Cannon may be undefeated 3-0. Hickory Ridge 0-3. Cox Mill 1-2. Central Cabarrus 1-2. West Cabarrus 0-3. And Christ the King still they're Huntersville. No, you're right there on it, Pep. That's perfect.
I was just going to ask how Christ the King snuck into Cabarrus County.
Yeah, it's a Cabarrus County address, but it's a Huntersville box. So Pep looked it up, man. I called him out on it, and he brought up the map and everything. And
they're in Cabarrus County by about a quarter of a mile.
Brought up the map.
Might be 100 yards.
Like 90% of the kids live in Mecklenburg County that go there.
Sound like PD, man.
No, 9% of the kids that are
Y'all are terrible tonight. Oh, all right. Cleveland County. Anything against that?
No, about right now.
Yep.
All right. Crest keeps rolling. Gaston County.
About right there as well.
Nah, I'll flip number 2 and number 1. Until somebody come play him. Won't nobody play him.
Hey, you know what I always say, and I told Joe
Everybody come
this.
play him, Pep.
Do not rank anybody above us that will not play us. Because we'll play any of them. Line them up.
Yeah,
We'll
Pep.
play any of them.
Damn,
Let's
they
go.
scared to come down. Them boys scared. A lot of them coaches scared to come down to the island, man.
But now we're not better than South Point at the now we still work in progress there. But we'll play them. We'll play anybody. But this looks good.
All right. Union County, still strong. Incredibly strong.
Am I wrong?
I mean, you got Marvin Ridge. They're 3-0, right, Pep?
Yeah. We're gonna talk about them in a minute too. They got a big one.
Sun Valley win. Sun Valley undefeated too, right? Still.
They beat Myers Park. Yep.
Last second field goal. I mean, a block field goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's a list right there, man. Especially that top 6.
Upperton's undefeated too.
Yep.
They gonna take a L Friday though.
Who they got Friday?
I know I predicted them to lose, so
You just know they losing.
playing Palisades.
So you're saying they've got 6 teams in that county that's undefeated right now?
7. Covers
7?
undefeated. Yes,
6.
Oh, I thought you said
Monroe lost to West Charlotte.
Yeah,
well, no, Metro Line is undefeated too, right?
I was wondering about Metro Line. I wasn't
They
sure.
are?
Yeah, they're undefeated.
7
Good
undefeated.
gracious.
Yeah, that's underrated right there. Ain't nobody talking about that count.
Oh, how much football are they playing down there?
Low key, for the last couple of years, they've been doing their thing.
A lot of state championships the last 10 years.
I see that. Yeah, all about one school.
Iredell County. I saw Chad Administrator posted his. I had to scroll up. There was a lot of
I thought he said Mooresville wasn't going to be that good this year. He be in here lying, man. Did he tell us that? Then he said they was going to have a down year.
That was some reverse psychology. If he hoped for the worst and he wanted the best, but something like that.
That must be an Iredell County thing because we always get on Pine Lake.
Yeah, finally. Yeah, I told Coach Trot I about fussed him out the other day, man.
This kid got 500-600 yards in 2 games.
Yeah, so we're pretty similar there. We only differ on Pine Lake and Statesville, but Iredell County, man. I mean, North Iredell, I think they beat Alexander Central last week, and they're still at number 7. Crazy, man. Good stuff.
Coach Trotter. Hey, and look, I'll say this what I told him, and Kenny can vouch for this. Coach Trotter is one of the best coaches in this area no one talks about.
It's true.
He's one of the best. And if you got to coach against him, you got to bring your A game. That's why I don't care whatever they got over there, try to make it do what it do. So shout out to Coach Trot.
So Eric Walker says, thank you for showing Metro Atlanta some love. We have not been scored on all season.
Good night.
And
Yeah,
they
got
number
a
8.
Now they got a crazy run game over there. Actually, I mean, they got a good program. Head coach been doing it for years. He's been consistent. He got him one.
Yeah, we had him in the Queen City Senior Bowl last year.
Yep, Coach Langley. Shout out to Coach Langley.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Rowan County, Friday night. You got any thoughts there?
No, that's about right there.
Yeah. This was hard, man, because West Rowan is just kind of struggling. I moved Carson up. I feel like, they've been in every game, even though wins and losses say they shouldn't be there. I mean, East Rowan played better too. So
against who?
Played well versus North Stanley.
Yeah.
Oh,
Second half, played strong.
okay.
Yeah, but
They
Salisbury,
struggled
I mean,
versus Salisbury last week a lot.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, back in the day, I used to do a gap sometimes, and I would put one way up high and then move the other ones down. I mean, I could have did that here, but I mean, Salisbury far and away is the best team in Rowan County. Stanley County, we got a new number one.
Uh-oh.
West Stanley.
Okay.
West Stanley lost last week, but these two teams play this week for Stanley County bragging rights. In what was it, Oakboro?
Oakboro.
Yeah, Oakboro. Any thoughts on Stanley County?
Well, West Stanley's 3-0, North Stanley's 2-1. So going by wins, that's right on it.
Wins and losses, man.
That's about right.
All right. So we're gonna stop right there for now because we're gonna talk about a little bit of a controversy.
Oh.
And I thought I had a thing for it. Maybe I didn't. Okay. So last week, and Big Eye, you can feel free to say something about it, or if you don't, that's fine. Joe Bombo, who I do a podcast with sometimes, was at Independence and West Charlotte game, and he filmed the sequence at the end of the first half where the ball was spotted and Independence was getting ready to down it or spike it to stop the clock. But they blew a whistle, the clock kept running, and then the half ended. And they never got a chance to snap the ball or spike it or, anything. And, of course, DJ, Independence's head coach, was very upset about it. Tried to get an explanation as to what happened. They never put time back on the clock, which is what you see sometimes when, you have these timing errors or inadvertent whistles or whatever. So a lot of us have coached in here. As a coach, how do you deal with that, number one? And then number two, how do you get your team past that when something like that happens? Kenneth, obviously, I've seen you coach and have some colorful discussions with referees. Yeah, Coach Marsh. Yeah, I see that. Yeah. So, anyway, Engine, how do you handle something like that, man?
Minus the colorful conversations, minus maybe throwing a yellow flag once. There's not a lot you can do. I mean, I've brought the iPads to the officials and tried to show it to them. Of course, they're not going to look at it in the game. When the game is over with, there is a process you can go through. You can send the video film. You can send your explanation of what happened to the person who puts all the officials out there, the officials head. You can send it to the state. I've done that many times. I've gotten a whole bunch of, Coach, I'm sorry, our officials completely blew that. In fact, I got one that said, Coach, I don't know how they blew that. 4 of those guys are college officials. I've gotten guys who were suspended for the playoffs because of blown calls in my games, but there's nothing you can do about it. You can complain about it. You can bitch about it. You can go to your principal about it. You can go to your AD about it. All you risk doing that a lot of times is alienating those officials who you're probably going to see again. There are not a lot of officials out there. In Cabarrus County here, we use Metrolina, who, over my years as a head coach, they shrunk their number of officials by something like 40%, 45%. So the repetition that you see in those same officials over and over and over again. I heard some ADs from a previous school or another school locally who were complaining about a referee that they had in their game. There's not a whole lot of recourse. You can complain about it, you can bitch about it, but then at the end of the day, nothing's going to be changed. Not on the scoreboard, not in the win and loss column.
Yeah, it's tough to come back from. Coach Dub, you want to speak on how you handle those situations?
Well, first, I want to tell y'all, look, all the referees out there, y'all are my friends. From the bottom of my heart, I have no beef with y'all. I've never received any bad calls. Matter of fact, I feel like coaching and referees, we need to get closer. We need to build a deeper bond. We need to come together more. But all jokes aside, I think that it's really hard to be a referee. You got to think about it. It's worse than actually coaching because we're expecting these men and women to go out here and look at things perfectly. And as you know, you always got human error. And when you have human error, you got to take it. We're gonna make a bad call during a bad situation as coaches. So I think the referees try to do the best of what they can. They've been putting more emphasis on coach and referee relations, and I've seen them trying to do a good job. The one thing I don't like is when some referees make it feel like stuff is like they can't go back and reverse something. In that situation, they should have put time back on the clock and replayed it. But other than that, I think the referees do a phenomenal job. And I would like to thank every referee out there, especially the ones that's going to referee us Friday.
God almighty. Coach Jenkins, what say you, sir?
I don't argue with officials. There's not a darn thing you can do about it. They're gonna make good calls. They're gonna make bad calls. They're gonna make right calls. They're gonna make wrong calls. And Kent's right. There's no recourse. If they're bad enough, they lose games at the playoff level. But the reality is, they're so short officials that they're not. Some of them aren't going to lose that either. So, I think about like our Grimsby game last year. We literally sent in 15 clips of false starts by them that weren't called, that were called exactly, ours looked exactly the same that were called on us. You have those nights where the calls go their way and they don't go your ways. But the reality is, you wish that some of them would kind of slow down for a second. And if they can fix it at that moment, fix it. If it's not possible to fix, then, hey, coach, I blew it. Right. And Robert's right. We make bad calls. Lord knows, ask everybody in the right crowd on Friday nights the last 6 years. Right. They'll tell you how terrible I was. So we're going to make bad calls. They're human beings. They're going to make bad calls, and they're going to make calls that we're going to argue that we're right. You go back and watch it on film and hey, it was the right call. They were right. We got that wrong. That's happened many times. As coaches, we would never argue something that we thought we saw, right?
Yep.
It's good stuff, man. Good
Hey,
stuff.
Matt, I want to say this real quick. So we could find out who killed Kennedy and who we could solve world hunger. Just go to the fans on Friday night.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, hey, listen, man.
They'll solve it all.
I'm already short as it is. I've never felt so little in my life as in a game after on a Friday night. Heck, even after we went, well, I tell you what, there's a couple of Friday nights at Concord we may have felt a little smaller than even up there on the Glamrock.
But here's the thing: we can kid around about the stands. They're there to remind us as coaches things that we sometimes forget, like, hey, coach, you got to block somebody. Oh, shit. That's what we forgot to work on blocking somebody.
You know what it's like? You know who they're like? They're like you have the coaches on your staff, coach. I'm sure you have coaches, especially kind of young coaches who are just getting into it. I call them the Captain Obvious coaches because, like, from the sideline, a kid misses a tackle, and they'll yell, tackle. And you just think as a player, you want to look over and go, really, coach, is that what I'm supposed to do at this moment? That's what you wanted me to do? Why didn't you just coach? Why didn't you tell me that? So you got that's what fans are, block. Really? That's what you want the O-line to do is block? Well, why didn't you guys tell us that? We could have worked on it all week.
All week.
When I first became a head coach, there was this woman up in the stands. And every time we ran the ball, she kept yelling, "Stop running the ball up the middle, you idiot." And the more she yelled, the more we ran, the more I was like, man, I recognize that voice. I turned around. It was freaking Maggie McClamrock. She was up there hollering at me, throw the ball. And she kept saying every time, "Stop running where they are." God, no. The other day, she goes, "Just remember, I used to tell you what you were doing wrong when you were a football coach." God, no.
Did you look at her and say, "How's that different than the rest of your life?"
I mean, well, it started because I'm trying to create plays for our 9 and 10-year-old flag football team. And she's like, "Just remember, you didn't listen to me 8 years ago when I told you to stop running it where all the defense was."
I think we have to do a new segment called Coaches Unplugged.
I don't want to hear that one.
If you want to lose viewers. I mean, the only reason I came, producer, I'm glad you showed up. I was only coming because you were supposed to be on the show. And then I got here and you weren't here right away. I got worried.
Oh, man. I'm here.
Oh, thank goodness. I was getting ready to leave if you didn't show up.
Well, I appreciate the concern, man. I know Pep told us Jenkins was coming. I said, "Oh, man, I got to be here for that."
I didn't realize I had to put my Twitter handle below my name also. So
It's okay, man. We all know who you are. We know how we can direct people to you. You know, if that's
please
what
don't.
you want. All right. The other controversy is in the Indian Land Palisades game. Apparently, now this is what I've been told. 5 seconds left. It was 4th down, and Indian Land was kicking a field goal to win the football game. And the snapper fumbled the ball, and they didn't get the kickoff. And in the video that I see, it was very clear, Palisades running off thinking that they won the game. But the referees brought them back onto the field for a second attempt. They kick it, and then they win the game. And then Indian Land, tags us in Twitter, and, all that great stuff happens. I'm on Instagram, I'm sorry. But what would cause a second attempt? Could a 15-yard penalty on Palisades do that for a celebration? Or is that considered post-snap or post-play?
Simmons told me that they ran on the field before the clock ran out.
That's it. Do it every time. And what down was it?
It was actually,
I think they kicked it on like first down.
It was first down because they got what happened? They picked up a 4th down. I want to say they picked up a 4th down by penalty, like an offsides or something. And if they kicked it on first down, then
if they don't go through the kicking process, right, and it was just like a fumble snap or whatever, they should get another down, correct?
Correct.
That's why you do it early like that.
Yeah. So that 4th down, it would have been over.
Yeah, 4th down would have been over. Yep.
It would have been a 15-yard penalty, but still would have been Palisades ball.
Yeah.
See, that's why you got head coaches up here, Pep. See that? We figured it out for you.
Thank you.
No controversy.
Thank you. Man, it's the controversy segment. All right.
Hey, you know controversy, Pep, and he asked me how I felt about our game.
See, there you go.
I was waiting on you to say something. You want to say something?
There's no doubt in my mind that changed the whole game, man. I'm pretty sure we go in, punch it in right there. We go up 14. If you see how the game was going, that game was going to be out of reach if we go up 14. I mean, it's terrible by the officiating. On our sideline, we had a referee. She's telling us get people off the white line, and they 80 yards down the field the other way. She's telling us, like, hey, if they're on your sideline, they're part of the team. So you mean tell me if 10 cameramen come on our sideline, they're part of our sideline. So I don't really know how the officiating was on the other side, but I know, they coaches know it. That's why they ran out the field like that. They coaches know it. They know it definitely was a momentum swinger in the game because we go up 14. It's all she wrote.
Man, I don't know the exact situation there, Webb, but Matt Jenkins can tell you in 2011, we were in the 2nd round of the playoffs, 3rd round of the playoffs versus West Rowan at their place. And third round of playoffs, end of the game, less than a minute to go, 45 seconds to go, whatever it was. And we had the perfect play call versus the defense that they show us. And then we had 5 knuckleheads who were on our sideline outside the coach's box who were raising Cain to the officials. Officials stopped play, threatened to kick them out of the game. All the while, we're trying to figure out what the heck is going on. We didn't notice that Scott Young, God bless him, saw the formation we came out in. He changed his coverage, and we didn't win the game after all. So, absolutely, man, those were knuckleheads who were not coaches, who were on our sidelines, who were raising canes. I don't know the exact story that you're talking about, but
with ours, it was it was like we had just got a turnover. They went for it on 4th down, I believe, or we got a turnover. I think they went for it on 4th. We stopped them. We're driving. We try to run a play. They sack us, so the time's running, and we go down and we spike the ball. We're about to spike the ball, and the referees start blowing the whistle with 9 seconds left. So any coach, any player, you hear whistles going off. It's stopping the play before the ball stops. So they stop the play, but the time keeps running, and we don't get no explanation about what's going on. That's why Coach McFadden is getting very pissed off about it at the game, if you see it on the video, because the whistles, if you about to, if I'm going to spike the ball, if it's a running clock, you don't hear a whistle unless it's to stop the play. If you got set. So
what was the rationale for the whistles? What did they say about that?
They didn't say nothing.
The ball wasn't spotted correctly. It was 3 yards ahead of where it should have been.
So they blowing the whistle. So
they were trying to move. My understanding is I'm not arguing about the time part. They were trying to move the ball back to where it was supposed to be.
So the umpire was attempting to reset the ball. Is that what it was?
That's what I texted Griner to find out. I'm sure Sam told the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So, and
you can't reset the ball if the ball didn't move.
And he said that their guy on their sideline was yelling that the ball needed to be spotted back 3 yards. So, but if they're blowing whistles, they should stop the clock.
Yeah, they're blowing the whistles, time run off. Yeah. We need an explanation. West Charlotte did they ran to the sideline. I don't blame. I ain't gonna necessarily put all the blame on the referees, but it is their blame. Whose side you want to pick? Home game for West Charlotte, away game for Independence. I'm gonna go with the home crowd every time.
The ball had been clocked or it had not been clocked.
All right, we was running the play. We got sacked. So all our receivers was running back. We're running back. We telling the boys, get on the line, get on the line. As we're doing that, all you hear is beep, 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 beep. But the time's still running. And when they blow the whistle, it's 9 seconds left on the clock. So we had enough time to run another play or even line up and kick a field goal if we wanted to.
And the white hat blew the whistle, or
I don't know. It was either the white hat or it was either everybody heard it. If referees blew the whistle.
Yeah.
To stop it. So, little things like that, just officiating, man. Coach McFadden always tell us, leave the referees alone, like every head coach is saying, leave the referees alone, let the head coaches handle it. So, that's what we did. We made sure we try to get our guys ready for halftime. But, definitely a big momentum swift change in the game because, who say we don't go up 14.
All right, well, that's the end of the controversy segment. And it might be one of the highest rated segments ever on this show.
Hey, Kenneth, that year, that West Rand year, that was the BJ Beecher no touchdown call too, wasn't it?
No, that was the next year. That was
2012?
Yeah. Next year. No.
It was that year. At the end of the half when BJ scored on the sneak and they didn't call it.
Well, we had a tight end who didn't come down on his 7 technique.
We don't talk about that part of it.
All right, we're gonna fly through these week 4 game previews, man. Friday night, Reedsville, Eastern Alamance. What you got?
I got Eastern Alamance 38, Reedsville 35.
Ooh, Reedsville going down.
Oh, spicy.
So both of these teams are 3-0. Reedsville athlete Kendra Harrison is the guy to watch. He's a 5-star recruit in the class of 2026. Tight end and defensive end, big-time player. Eastern Alamance all-conference running back Tyreek Samuel. Second leading rusher on the team. It's really close. It's like a 2-yard difference. Really fast, 5'8", 190 pounds. All right, Oak Grove at North Forsyth. What you got Friday night?
I got OG 27, my alma mater 21.
Oh, you went to North Forsyth?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man, they got some good guys. They came to our
5705 Shadow Line Drive, baby.
Okay. North Forsyth got to watch Lewis Tank Green IV, leading rusher, talented player. He came to our camp, was one of the top running back performers. And then for Oak Grove, Carson Williams, leading rusher for Oak Grove. They're a run-first team. He's a very, very talented young man. Fun game here. Ashe County at Mount Airy. Friday night. What you got?
I got Mount Airy 42, Ashe County 14.
Wow. Okay. Mount Airy is 3-0. They have not been scored on all season. Ashe County's also 3-0. I think it's going to be more of a high-scoring game. Ashe County runs the air raid. Their quarterback, Blake Peters, 6'1", 170, returning all-conference player. Really, really good offensive football team. Contrasting styles. Mount Airy loves to ground it and pound it. Linebacker, running back, Caleb Reed. He's their leading tackler. He also plays running back. So should be a lot of fun and a lot of points in Mount Airy on Friday night. Now, Marvin Ridge. Oh, go ahead, Friday night. I'm sorry.
No, I would say Ashe County don't have the athletes.
Okay. Coach Dubs, what you know about Mount Airy, man?
Man, I know a lot about Mount Airy, and I think that Mount Airy is going to beat them in a blowout.
Facts.
I don't think it's
Mount
going to
Airy
be close.
Is that Mount Airy too?
Yeah.
Not close.
No.
All right. Oh, hey, Deidre, get some. Yeah, nice.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Cue the music.
Right there.
Cue the music, Pep.
We're running behind schedule.
What's up,
boy.
What you say? Jamal, we didn't hear you.
What's up, Deidre? How you doing?
That's
All right. Marvin Ridge at Lake Norman. Both teams are 3-0. Friday night. What's your prediction?
I got Marvin Ridge over Lake Norman, man. Too much offense.
What's your score, man? You look flustered. What's your score?
I just had to change page. Oh, let me find it right quick.
He's a little distracted right now. Knocked him off course.
Put him on the camera, Pep. Give him the whole screen, Pep.
Give him the whole screen.
Gather yourself.
Give him the whole screen, Pep.
Get it together, man.
Hold under pressure, baby.
No, actually, you know what?
He's sliding all off the camera, man. Get it
I
together.
actually no. Hold on.
Get a sip of water.
I actually picked Lake Norman, man. I actually picked Lake Norman.
Oh, okay.
Lake Norman 27, Marvin Ridge 24.
He threw out the completely wrong prediction, man. Oh, get a sip of water, man. I know you got some water by there, man.
Oh, gosh. Oh,
The ladies that keep them humble.
Yeah, they do.
So
Man,
for
ain't
Marvin
worth
Ridge, the player to watch is dual threat quarterback Evan Metters. He rushed for over 200 yards against Reagan in that victory. And then for Lake Norman, they have an electric slot and running back Moses Morris. Really, really dynamic sophomore. Great speed, great ability to catch the football out of the backfield. Really, really good player, man. Any thoughts on Marvin Ridge and Lake Norman? All right. Angie, you want to weigh in on North Stanley and West Stanley?
Yeah, you know we've said for weeks now that North Stanley was the top team in Stanley County, and right now West Stanley is 3-0. West Stanley has beaten Carson, who's 1-2. West Stanley beat South Stanley, who's 1-2, and West Stanley has beaten Albemarle, who is 0-3. North Stanley's 2 victories were both against teams that have not won a game. North Stanley going into the season, man, they had all the dudes. They had the returning quarterback. They had the returning running back. They had a big-time transfer running back / linebacker transfer in. They had the stud linebacker who's been in all of our showcases, Pep. They had the dudes that on paper, they should be dominating teams. And they haven't quite yet fulfilled that. This is a huge game, man. These people live next to each other. They play ball growing up and first grade ball and second grade ball and third grade ball and fourth grade ball. They run into each other at the flea market somewhere up there. These people know each other. Their families know each other. This is a big time game here. In week 4 between West Stanley and North Stanley. As far as I know, West Stanley is still going to run the option. They're still going to just run it down your throat. I mean, literally 3 yards in a cloud of smoke. And from what I know of, at least last year, assuming this year as well, North Stanley is going to try to throw the ball around a little bit and be a little bit more balanced. But this should be a good football game.
Yeah, absolutely. So for North Stanley, Jay Jackson is the player to watch at running back and linebacker, as you mentioned there. And then for West Stanley, they got a guy that's similar in running back and linebacker, Renee Salazar, leading rusher on the team and one of the top guys in tackles for West Stanley. So it'll be a good game in Oakboro, man.
Yeah, there was something I saw on Twitter last week on game day, I believe it was, that West Stanley's head coach had just said praying for Coach Herlocker. So I'm not sure, or Coach Morton, I'm so sorry. Coach Morton, hopefully whatever that is has been resolved and he's doing better. So
absolutely. Big game, Weddington at Butler. Weddington at 3-0, Butler at 2-1, of course, coming off the big win down in Georgia this weekend. But Weddington coming off their win over at West Forsyth. Friday night. First of all, give me the North Stanley, West Stanley. I didn't ask you that one. They didn't give us Weddington.
I didn't pick that one. I didn't predict that one.
You didn't predict the game?
No, not North Stanley, West Stanley.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, what you got for Weddington, Butler?
I got Butler 35, Weddington 28.
Ooh, okay. That should be a barn burner. All right. For Weddington, player to watch, I got tight end Brooks Mock. So Weddington has a lot of different guys. Of course, Keenan Jackson on the outside. They have Ritter in the backfield. Of course, they got Tyler Bunch quarterback. But when you get into these big games like this, man, you always want to look at the guys that you don't think about. And sometimes those tight ends, man, they kind of get forgotten. Go a little jump pass, do a little seam route, and then they make a big play. So Brooks Walk is 6'4", 220 pounds. He's a big threat at that position. This might be a game where they try to get him on track, man. And then for Butler, linebacker Tyquan Rankin, number 9. He had the big fumble recovery, ran it back for a touchdown, and kind of got Butler out to a 2-touchdown lead down there in Georgia. Really kind of kick-starting their way to that big victory. Let me go to I want to ask this too. Coach Jenkins, let me ask you, when you get in these big games like this, man, do you do anything differently to get your team ready?
No. You purposely don't. I think the biggest challenge for Hales is going to be getting his team, getting them ready to practice on Monday, Labor Day. So it's a Labor Day holiday. You played on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
You beat a nationally ranked team, and then you got to show up on Monday and practice hard. Not read headlines, not listen to your parents, not listen to grandma tell you how great you are, right? Not listen to the students on Tuesday about how awesome you are, your principals, your assistant principals, or all the teachers. You know, hey, you guys beat the 9th ranked team in the country. You guys are going to win a state championship this year. You have to be able to not listen to all that and then practice and get ready for a team who is going to have everybody do what we did today on the show. Talk about it's the most important win in the history of Charlotte football. And Weddington's going, yeah, we're pretty good. And so going into it, I mean, if you're giving an advantage to somebody, the advantage is with Weddington in this deal. I don't care who Butler just beat. Because all of the psychological and emotional part is on their side right now, where Butler's having to fight all that, right? And when you're dealing with teenagers, listen, man, we'll just be honest, teenagers are stupid. So they going to listen to it. They're going to believe it. I wouldn't be shocked if they are not just absolutely all over their kids Monday and Tuesday. Because you've got to get them, you've got to bring them back. You got to get them back, right, into regular mode, into what the week was leading into Langston Hughes week, right, where they were the underdog, they were the team that was going to go down there and get whacked, whatever anybody was saying, right? So, you know, the big game part, we don't do anything different for a big game. We are who we are. We practice it. Listen, if you came to my practice on Monday week 1, it looks the same on Monday week 14. Thursday looks exactly the same week 1 as it does week 14. nothing changes because I do believe in the consistency of it that allows kids to. Now, do we change it from time to time to throw variables so they learn how to handle those different variables during games when things don't go according to plan and we have that flexibility and the kids learn how to do that? Yeah, we do. Right. We have those moments. Right. And we have those scripted in our practice though. So within the practice. So I wouldn't do anything different, but I think they have to do something different as far as they've got to get their kids back, if you can believe it. And not back that the kids aren't bought in. It's back that the kids are as focused as they were the week before. So.
Yeah, well said, man. Good stuff right there. All right. Another big game, Gaffney taking on Mallard Creek. Friday night, what you got on this one?
I got the Creek 21, Gaffney 14.
That's too close.
Huh?
That's too close.
Too close.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's going to beat him by 21.
Wow. Okay. Why you say that, Coach?
Mallard Creek can fly, guys. They may be the fastest team that we've seen in a long time. They got some dudes. They got some dudes that can run. And I say run, they can run.
Yeah, I will attest to that. Not saying the score, but yeah, I will attest to that. They are very fast all over the field, man. I know Gaffney is Gaffney's very young too. So this is like, I know they got a good win last week against South Point. So I know those kids are going to be ready. But this is it's going to be another big test for them. It'll be another big test, but Mallard Creek is very, very fast.
Hey, shout out to their track coach. Because that's where that speed comes from. All them boys run track. And don't forget about their defense. Their defense is legit. So I'm with Coach Jenkins. I'm with Coach Jenkins on this one.
A couple from Washington, D.C. didn't help either.
Yeah.
So, but for the DMV. But for them, it's going to come down to what they can do offensively, though. They're going to have to score points. So, I mean, you know what? It may not be a 21-point win. If it is, it might be 21-0, right? I mean, they've got to score. They've still got to continue to get better offensively, though. So.
Yeah, Mallard Creek's coming off a bye week, so they've had 2 weeks to get ready for Gaffney. That's definitely a big advantage. For Gaffney, quarterback Riley Staten is highly heralded, very decorated, talented player, good size, strong arm, won a lot of different accolades, but he's moved around some down there, but he's got the talent. And then for Mallard Creek, defensive end Zion Burden, fast off the edge, gave Buford a lot of problems. 3 sacks in that game. Man, you talk about speed, not just in the skill spots. It's on the defensive line, too. So, should be a good crowd. Nice interstate battle. Hopefully, Mallard Creek's able to get it done for North Carolina. All right, by request, this game was added. Olympic taking on Shelby. Friday night. What you got?
Big Shelby, baby, 35, Olympic 22. Playing at the crib. They got to get a win. Big Shelby, 35, Olympic 22.
Okay. Big Eye Shelby?
Hey, I've talked to some guys on the Shelby end, man. They're very confident about this one. They're feeling like this is a game they can win. So, coaches don't pick games non-conference that they feel like they can't win. So, it's one of those Olympics coming in, they can't look past Shelby being two-way, former Shelby coach, Coach Bowden's there. So I'm sure he's going to have those guys ready for the moment, just as far as letting them know what they're about to walk into. I think it'll be a good environment, man. Shelby played very physical game last week against Crest. Even though they lost, from what I'm hearing, the game was very physical. The kids are still intact, man. I think they're gonna have to find a way to stop Isaiah Bridges. I think Isaiah Bridges have a big night. He's committing Friday. So shout out to him. He's committing Friday. So yeah, that team's gonna be ready to go, man. And one thing they want to always do is defend home turf. So look for it, man. I think Shelby can win this one. So, all they gotta do is go out there and prove.
All right, Joe Hughes weighing in says Shelby will be fine, even though they lost last week. They found some things. Says Tristan Tate has really emerged for the Lions.
Yeah, Tristan's a special player, man. Very special, man. Real good football player.
What position does he play?
Running back. He can play whatever. Running back, slot, safety, corner. does a little bit of everything.
Okay, good. So definitely Isaiah Bridges. That's the player I had down for Shelby Big Eye. And then
Also,
for Olymp,
I
go
think
ahead. I'm
the
sorry.
major thing in this game too, both quarterbacks are similar. You know, two sophomores kind of built the same. You know, they got the skill players outside, but you know, I think Shelby quarterback is just a little bit better. I think he's better than the one they have at Olympic. But other than that, man, you know, this is a big game for both quarterbacks, man. Get a chance to prove themselves. One quarterback gets to go on the road against a two-way powerhouse, and another quarterback he get to see his first 4A opponent. So that'll be good. Be good stuff.
Yeah. So for Olympic, a guy chasing that quarterback landformer is defensive end Tavares Boone. He's going to be a big key in this because Shelby's going to try to hit Isaiah Bridges on those deep balls that they're known for. But if they don't have the time to pull it off, then it won't happen. So you got to keep Tavares Boone blocked, number 50 coming off the edge. All right, sliding over to Gaston County, Ashbrook at East Gaston. Ashbrook 0-2, East Gaston 3-0. Friday night, what you got?
Well, I didn't predict that, but I'll go ahead and make a guess. I'm gonna go with East Gaston.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I mean I think Ashbrook gets their first win this week over East Gaston. I think Ashbrook is a very good team. They play some pretty good opponents the first 3 weeks. So like I say, man, sometimes your record don't show really what type of team you are, but because you play some good competition, you know, it can go either way, you know. So I think Ashbrook's win pretty convincingly this week.
Okay. All right.
And so I'm still learning about Gaston County outside of Mountain Island, Charlotte, and South Point. So
you just learned about them last week.
You just found out.
Oh, relentless, man. All right, so players to watch for Ashbrook, running back Jameer Fox, number 9. Strong, good speed. He can catch the ball at the backfield. Complete package right there. For East Gaston and Trenton Sherrill. We talked about him several times, having a really good season. Joe says East Gaston won't be it itself. Question is, will Ashbrook not do the same? So.
Can I add to something? Just being in Gaston County, I think this is going to be a good matchup, and also a kid flying under the radar for East Gaston is C.J. Helms. C.J. Helms is a really good athlete. He's one of those X factors that don't really get the pub he deserved. But shout out to C.J. But I think this matchup right here, you got to know Coach James. If anyone knows Coach James and Coach Biggers, the DC, right now they're in the lab. They're in the lab on this one. So this is going to be a good game, good Gaston County game.
Mm-hmm. Also, man, from East Gaston, man, like I say, in these games where East Gaston probably the underdog, 2A versus 3A, it's always good knowing you going into a game with a quarterback. You know, Trenton Sherrill is a great quarterback. He's been there. He's been very loyal. A lot of people were trying to get him to leave East Gaston this year and go to, maybe a bigger program or somewhere else. But, man, he's no stranger to big games. He's been in a lot of big games, so I know he's going to be ready for this. I'm sure he's going to be the one you got to stop to lead the charge.
Yeah, he's a dog. He's an absolute dog. He came to the showcase, Pep, Kenny.
Yeah.
And he's an absolute dog. And he's the difference, man. He's definitely the reason why they're 3-0, because his leadership is you can't put a price on that.
Absolutely, man. All right. Our Cabarrus County matchup of the week. Mount Pleasant at Northwest Cabarrus. And we go to the king of Cabarrus County to break it all down.
You've got Mount Pleasant, who's 2-1. Mount Pleasant, who's beaten Central Cabarrus. They lost to Concord. Going up against Northwest Cabarrus, who's 2-0. Of course, we all know about Alex Walker, the quarterback at Northwest Cabarrus. He's a 4-year starter. Ray J. Waters, their stud running back. But when I saw them play week 1, the thing that stood out to me the most was how relentless Northwest Cabarrus's front six were. The defensive line, the linebackers, they were sending pressure from everywhere. They almost always sent 6 guys. Sometimes it felt like they sent 7 guys. really left the opposing offensive line really confused and wondering where those guys were coming from next. They got their offense up. Their offense was okay versus West Cabarrus, but they really started hitting on all cylinders versus A.L. Brown in that historic win 2 weeks ago now. For Mount Pleasant, it's going to come down to there's a set of brothers, Pep. Remember these names. They're not TD Moose yet, but they might be. The Dempsey brothers, Ethan and Eli, I believe are their names. We've talked about their sophomore quarterback, Colin Black. They have a couple of really good linemen as well on either side of the ball. But it's going to come down to is Northwest D and the way that they're sending pressure from everywhere. Are they going to be able to stop Mount Pleasant's option attack? And, as coaches, we know that when you send pressure, a lot of times that can be beneficial for the offense because now all I have to do is make you miss on that first level. And then there's a whole lot of space between me and your safety trying to make a tackle. And those safeties don't always like to make tackles. If Mount Pleasant can get a run game going, if they can get that play action pass going over top with Colin Black, they have a shot to keep this game close and to make it really interesting.
Prediction time.
Golly.
Hey, I lost 4 times. Goodness.
That's talking about what my flag football team's age group is, right?
Not a good week of predictions for anybody. I will tell you, I went 1-5.
Good Lord.
Not proud of myself.
I was supposed to make the gap bigger this week, man.
Nobody was over 500.
I feel like I should be above Big Eye Patriot.
Alphabetical
why
order.
would you be above me if I was already? Me and Pet was tied for first.
I just want to be at the top. Yeah, I don't have no reason for it.
Well, this your week to do it, baby.
All right. Coach Jenkins, you joining us in predictions?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Oh, man. All right. Here we go. Week 4 predictions. Catawba Ridge at Ardrey Kell Friday night.
Ardrey Kell.
Coach Jenkins.
Catawba Ridge.
Producer.
AK-47.
Big Eye.
I'm going to go AK.
Coach Dub.
AK.
Engine.
I got to catch up, man. My loyalty's out the window. Catawba Ridge.
I will take Ardrey Kell. All right. Bessemer City at Union Academy. Engine.
Bessemer City, baby.
Riding with him again. Coach Dub.
BC, Bessemer City.
All right. Big Eye.
Union Academy.
There it is.
Producer.
Bessemer City.
Coach Jenkins.
Guys, I've never seen either one of these teams play before in my entire life.
We haven't seen half the teams.
I'm sitting here going, can we get some games that Bessemer City, because more people have picked them so far. I feel like I'm on like game day, like one of those guest pickers right now. Except they find out ahead of time, I think.
I sent it to you.
Did you? Man, you sent me so many text messages on that screen.
Friday night.
Union Academy.
I'm going to take Union Academy. All right. Olympic at Shelby. Big Eye.
I'm going to go with the hometown team, man. I'm going to go with Shelby.
Producer.
Man, this is really tough, man, because I know Shelby's going to eventually start Shelbying again and winning. High risk, high return. Let's go Shelby, man. Almighty Shelby.
Coach Dub.
Let's go Olympic.
Friday night.
Big Shelby.
Ending.
Wait, you skipped yourself?
I'm going last.
You can't go last every time.
I'm not going to go every time.
You trying to be strategic, ain't he?
Nah, Olympic.
I'm going to take Shelby. Turville at North Gaston. Producer.
North Gaston.
Coach Jenkins, did I pick you? Did you do Olympic, Shelby?
No, I did not, but I was just going to let you go. That kind of like I treat the officials on Friday nights. Just let you do your thing.
His favorite
All right,
movie.
so
Let it go. Let it go.
the Olympic Shelby, Coach. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I just watched Olympic in North Mech on film, so I'm going to pick Shelby.
All right, and then Cherryville at North Gaston. What you got for Cherryville, North Gaston, Coach?
I don't know. Jeez. Cherryville?
All right. Friday night.
North Gaston.
Engine.
North Gaston. No go, baby.
Coach Dub.
North Gaston.
Big Eye.
North Gaston.
All right, I'll take North Gaston.
Okay, I need to change my pick.
Once again, 4 picks, and you picked last 3 times. 4 picks, and Pep has picked last 3 times.
You think you let the guest pick last? That way they have like a something to go on.
That's how he ups his record.
I'll be honest with some of these games. Now I know why you guys are 12-6 though, and 11-7.
It's kind of like having a home clock operator. That's what.
Yeah.
Oh, now these double
It's
win
easy
losses
to
are
pick.
killer, though.
It's easy to pick games where it's obvious. These games are not obvious.
No, they're
These
not.
games are obvious. Some of them.
All right, so for the last game, Weddington at Butler.
That one was clearly obvious.
Petman first.
Petman first. Yep. Petman first. Hey, guys, you notice he only goes first when it's like Harding.
Harding has not been in the picks all season.
I'm saying, hey, we got history with you, big fella.
Oh, come on.
Hey, which is controversy within itself. Because I've seen North Gas and Bessemer City up here twice, and we have not seen Harding. And that's where you went to school, sir.
Yeah, we done seen them twice, man.
I'm going to take Butler Friday night.
You see how
We ain't got Carver up here for
Friday night,
man.
Okay. David Butler, baby.
Coach Jenkins.
You know what? I don't know if they got the kids back. I'm gonna go with Weddington.
Producer.
Yeah, kind of like what Coach alluded to. I don't know how much that win took out of them. I don't know how they injuries, but it's hard to go against them still. Butler still.
Big Eye.
I'll go with Weddington.
Coach Dub.
Weddington.
Engine.
Weddington.
All right. Week 4 predictions. Boy. We're going to have a post-show meeting tonight, guys. It is now that time to slime with your favorite host. Definitely not me.
You know what time it is? It's time where we get some things off our chest, where somebody, something, some program, some organization has gotten up underneath your nerves, and we're going to slime them. So let's go straight to Coach Dub. Who are you slamming on tonight?
Kenny, I was hoping you didn't get me first. I was sitting here thinking of my slime, but since I don't got one, I'll go ahead and do one. I want to slime everyone that selected Union Academy, and the reason being, I know some of y'all don't know Bessemer City Union Academy. You think you'll go with the coach that's been playing in that conference for the last 8 years. So I want to slime everyone that didn't follow the lead of myself during those predictions.
For the record, I chose Bessemer City. For the record, producer Brandon, who you sliming on tonight?
I'm gonna go with the one I probably should have had last week, but the producer is gonna slime the producers of the Swamp Kings documentary for piecing together footage that basically made Chris Leak look like a scrub. You know, the way they kind of talked about him, way some of the comments they put in there. You know, you can kind of shape whatever story you want, man, but kind of just made it seem like they just won in spite of him, you know. And I know Tebow gets all the hype, you know, rightfully so. I'm not taking nothing away from Tebow, but Chris Leak was still a very solid college quarterback. Led them, helped lead them to a championship. So it just seemed like they made him seem like an afterthought, and he was still solid. So I gotta slime them for painting that picture.
We know Big Eye Shelby is salty this week. Who you sliming on?
Oh man, I'm sliming Little League reps. I got a call from one of my closest friends, man, and she was telling me about how much she had to pay for her daughter's cheerleading uniform, and I just find this crazy. Like, y'all know, there's a lot of coaches on here tonight. A Nike uniform probably run you about $100. That's for a high school kid. No reason why we're paying for a 6 to 8 year old cheerleading uniform $100, man. I just think that's just so crazy, and it don't come with the tennis shoes. That's just unbelievable.
I thought for a minute Big Eye Shelby was going to be talking about his lady friend, but then he said that she had a 6-year-old daughter. I knew that mom was probably too young for Big Eye Shelby.
I'm sorry. Who did you call?
Goodness gracious,
man!
Wow.
Get him over tonight,
who's up?
Get him, Kenny. Get him, Kenny.
I was waiting on y'all to catch that. Petman, who you slamming on?
My goodness. Wow. This post-show meeting is going to be really interesting. So, as requested, a lot of people said in the comments, I'm going to slime Spectrum. I'm going to tell you something. I was out, what was that, Thursday night or Friday night when they shut it down. I was out at a restaurant, and they had the football game pregame show up, and I just happened to look up, and then it wasn't on anymore because at first I couldn't read what was on the screen. I thought they might have had like a satellite thing, and the satellite went out. So I was like, okay, when I get home, I will turn it on. So I got home, and then the screen still had that crap up there. I'm gonna tell you something. This BS message they put on there talking about we're fighting for you. No, you're not. You're not fighting for anyone but yourself. You're trying to get your fees lowered so you can get an increased cut of whatever increase Disney is trying to put on it. Both of you guys, Disney and Spectrum, need to go sit down somewhere and hash this crap out, man. Because you're just hurting people, man. And I'm going to tell you who it really hurts. It hurts the families of these college players because everybody can't afford to go travel and see these people in person, man. People just want to watch their families, their loved ones. Coaches want to watch the kids that they, coached and brought up to play college football. And y'all just taking away memories from all these people, man. And we pay too much dang on money already. My Spectrum bill is $250 a month for internet and cable. It is absolutely ridiculous that this crap is going on right now. And they did it on purpose right at the freaking kickoff of college football. Get in there and get it fixed, man. Do something for us. We already got enough problems as it is in the dang on world.
And the only thing you get from Spectrum,
fix it,
is Bally Sports. You watch the Hornets and the Braves. That's it. Coach Jenkins, I'm going to come back to you, let you think about it for one more minute. I'm going to slime college head football coaches who are playing the victim. I'm looking at you, Sonny Dykes, head football coach for Texas Christian, talking about your strength and conditioning staff didn't have your players ready to play. I'm looking at you, Shane Beamer, talking about the chain crew eating a hot dog at halftime. How about you not let Mac Brown grab you by the neck and turn you around and say, "Who's your daddy, boy?" There was a time when as head coaches, we would ask of our players to take accountability. That's a big-time word in the coaching world, accountability. Players, be accountable for your actions. Be accountable for your eyes not looking where they're supposed to be looking, for your body not to be where it's supposed to be. Head coaches in college football, you need to take accountability. You've been slimed. Coach Jenkins, that beautiful beard / goatee / mustache that you have, who are you slamming on tonight?
I learned this whole thing from you, man. So I cannot believe that Sonny Dykes blamed the strength and conditioning coach. So I had no idea I was supposed to do a slime. So after thinking about it here quickly, I cannot believe nobody picked Clemson's performance just in general. Because that was god awful terrible. It was. I don't know if it's indicative that Duke is that much better or Clemson is just that bad. But that was. I don't care that it's week 1. I don't care about any of that kind of stuff. That was a disgusting performance on their part. So I can't rant like Petman does, though.
I don't know if it's true or not, but I saw a meme that said Clemson has 39 4- and 5-star players. Duke has 2. Long score didn't show that.
I don't know. When I saw Nolan Hooser in the office on Tuesday morning, and I asked him if he called Dabo to see if his NIL deal was going to go up any. After watching that kicker.
Friday night.
Yo, I'm ready.
Oh,
I'm
waiting on the engine.
Man, Friday night Fowler. Who are you slamming on tonight? We got an extra guest. I got confused.
Man, I'm slamming on everybody who had a negative reaction to Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes. Look, they came into the game with, I think they were like a 27-point underdog. Some people had them the worst roster in all of college football. Nobody gave them a chance. I think some people predict they might not have win a game this year. So to see the celebration, to see everybody happy about Colorado winning, and see all these people that got all this negative stuff to say about Colorado, come on, man, relax. Are we saying they're going to win that championship? No. Are we saying they're going to go undefeated? No. But with the circumstances that Prime had going on both sides, from the HBCU side of things and the Florida State side of things, for what he said last week about not graduating from Florida State, I think it was a heck of a job. People just need to relax, man. Let these people have, because nobody gave them a chance. Nobody gave them a chance to win Saturday. So all the people that's hating on Prime and Colorado, relax, man. It'll be all right.
Say it with your chest Friday night. I hear you.
Yes.
Who gave him a chance Friday night?
Huh?
Who gave him a chance?
Nobody. Nobody.
Coach Trey Oliver is trying to figure out who you're talking about, though. He said, Coach who? Coach
Oh, best
like
of the
that.
comments.
I like that engine. I like that.
Joe Hughes, Friday Night Football ready for the midnight storm.
Yep. Oh, man.
Oh, man. Joe Hughes, Clemson pissed themselves, but I picked them earlier as a dark horse in the ACC. All right. I guess he's talking about Duke. There. Deidre saying, even if they fix it, Spectrum still won't work in the rain. Oh, man.
You know about that?
It works in the rain.
You agree, Mr. Fowler?
Yeah.
I know who'll come over there and fix it if the spectrum ain't working. I know who will come over there with his repair bag and his wrench and his screwdriver and do his best.
Hey,
in the rain.
In the rain, yeah. He'll come over there with his tool bag. He'll have his whole tool bag out. One wrench and one screwdriver. That's it. He got 2 tools in the whole bag, but he'll be there though.
In an air blower. It'd be in an air blower.
Summer Blevins wants coaches unplugged. We're gonna have to talk about that, man.
I'm not ready for that.
Burning that midnight oil at the midnight hour.
Big Eye Shelby.
I think that's my dog.
Yeah,
man.
multiple
cheerleading.
comments.
Hey man, hey, the price of cheerleading is insane.
That was a more reaction to what the engine said there.
Tell you what, big guy, just get a travel softball player.
Oh, Chumpy, man, I know, man. I was the athletic director at Parks and Rec, man. I'll tell you. Hey,
It's almost over. For me, at least.
Oh gosh. Coach Mars says don't bet against the Ford during our prediction segment. Engine won that one for sure, as the rest of us did not.
But Pep, that's a tough. Let me say this. That's a tough game to predict. Come on, y'all, give us a break. I know, because it could have went either way. So you just had them games that time.
Put Karen comment up there, Pep.
Where is it? A new one?
Yeah. Oh, shout out to Karen.
Oh, hold on, I gotta go down.
Miss Belt.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, baby, got our first home game, baby. Hope Miss Karen. I hope I'll be able to meet you at the game, man. Get to put a face with a name, man.
You haven't met one of your parents?
Friday.
We haven't had a home game yet, guys. We've been playing at other people's places.
You don't have a welcome, like a
Preseason
preseason.
Yeah, we did, but I'm not sure if she knew. I'm not sure if she knew I was on the show. We didn't do the show then.
Oh, got you.
I predicted to win Friday.
Talking about Brain Coach
Big Chef.
Jason Bass with the observation: is it me or does Friday Night's voice get Barry Whitish when he says, "Hey"?
It's Friday night, man. The ladies, man.
Look,
boy, I can't win for nothing. Boy,
the inevitable. We've been.
Chat administrator says, "Shout out to Mooresville DB AJ Graham on picking up an offer from Boston College." That's
Nice. Okay.
Good job, man. Shout out AJ. Real talented young man right there. Oh my goodness. Some of these I can't post. Joe Slater says, Raymond Gap might beat Providence today. They're big and they can run the football. Providence Day barely beat them 2017 last year. Plus, Providence Day lost to Christian. Don't sleep on us.
No chance.
All right.
No chance.
Okay. There you go. This show, man.
Number one team in the entire state. And that's after Butler beat Langston U. So what is that saying?
I'm laughing because of this comment from Joe. I didn't see this during the show. It says Friday Night Foul is singing the Isley Brothers "Hello, It's Me" after finding heartbreak to a dear lady from the
Man, boy, I tell you. Oh boy.
Oh, Stephanie Reynolds suggesting the CFI Classic with West Charlotte fish sandwich and Independence cheeseburger.
Yeah.
I got to see what one of them cheeseburgers talking about. Miss Belt, find me at halftime. If you can.
Oh, man. Pushing your kids up at halftime.
You requested food on Wednesday.
But that's what happened. He ain't gonna get one of them fish sandwiches. I tried to warn you, cuz you've been rejuvenated.
I can't believe you can eat a cheeseburger at halftime.
We was fine. We was fine Friday. Should have gave them referees something to eat the way they throwing games.
Dang.
Terrible, man. Trayvon Gaither, I got you, man. Forest Hills has a big game against Community School of Davidson. Yeah, both teams are 3-0. That game is at Community School of Davidson. I think a lot of points.
Go ahead.
Forest Hills 44, Community Davidson 28.
What? I'm sorry, Friday.
Let me keep my mouth shut.
Forest Hills 44, Community School of Davidson 28.
44-28, Forest Hills.
Get somebody scoring. He always saying nothing.
Oh man. Okay. We got any more comments that came in? Jason Bass. There you go. Coach Jenkins did an awesome job on the Bayhackle broadcast last week.
That's very, very nice of you to say. I couldn't get my wife to say that, so I appreciate that, sir.
Mercy. Oh man. Summer Blevin, shout out to UNC Charlotte. Big first home game win for Biff and the team. Yep, 24-3 over South Carolina State. Taking on Maryland this week.
It gets real this week.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
They're definitely not South Carolina State, so
No, they're not. Who got?
They struggled against South Carolina State too.
yes, they did.
Smoked the previous
They won the
week.
national championship, baby. They got to score more than 24 on South Carolina State.
Yeah, they struggled against a team that lost to Jackson State, 37-7 or something like that?
37-3, maybe. Something like that.
Yeah.
South Carolina State is down.
Whole bit.
Hey, shout out to Jamoran Howell, man. He's getting a lot of time at South Carolina State as a freshman. Played at Mooresville. Running back.
Another
good stuff.
Yeah, showcase legend in himself.
Absolutely. I think they offered him at the showcase.
They did.
Yeah, good stuff, man. All right, so Joe Hughes, y'all want to shout anybody out?
Yeah, shout out to Joe Hughes for service in our community. This man, hard work goes unnoticed, but it doesn't by me. I appreciate you, Joe, and I promise you I'm going to get you a bargain from the Dollar General for Christmas because you're my guy. Joe always shows up at our place in the bargain, and he rolls it up, right? So, I mean, shoot, I got to get you a bargain.
Any other shout outs tonight?
Oh, shout out to Coach Jenkins. Appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining.
I'm telling you, brought a lot of straight talk to the show.
Yeah, man.
No, I didn't do that. That's nonsense, probably.
No, not at all. Not at all. It was good, man. It was real good. And Joe Hughes says the toboggan will be put to good use.
No doubt. And it's all jokes, man. And some people like the fact that when I come on the show, we talk different things like that. Joe is really respected in our community. So shout out to Joe again. It's my guy.
All right. So on behalf of everybody, we'll okay. There's an engine shout out.
Some good news, man.
Stopping by Mountain Island. That's good stuff right there. All right. So on behalf of everybody, I'm the Petman, Matt Morris, signing off. Thanks for watching a 2-hour plus episode of Football Focus Weekly. Everybody have a good week. If you see us on Friday, you won't see me on Friday. Producer is going to Hickory Ridge and Chambers. I got the JV game of the week, which I'll put on Instagram. Anybody else?
I'll be at Indy, South Matt.
Engine, you going anywhere?
I don't know. The boys might have practice on Friday. We got a big first game, so we might have to get an extra practice here on Friday night.
Shout out to my Camrod boys, man. Best athletes in Cabarrus County, man.
You ain't saying last week.
Hey, shout out to Kenny for getting our boys right over at Mountain Island.
Coach Jenkins, you doing another game?
$200 an hour.
No, I've got we're taking the girls to ECU on Friday to visit the school, and then we've got travel softball all weekend in Raleigh. So I'm doing I think I'm doing the Statesville, whoever Statesville's playing on the 15th. I do some radio games for those guys up there.
Oh man, nice.
The number one party school in North Carolina.
Yeah, that's why. That's the only reason the girls want to go there. Literally. Actually, that's the only reason Olivia wants to go there.
All right. On that note, good night, everybody.